right, my kiddos, today we're going to talk about lesson 3.06, Kingdom Fungi. Fungi is plural. If you're talking about many different fungi, you use the word fungi. If you're talking about one particular fungus, you use F-U-N-G-U-S. Fungus is the singular, and you can remember that because it ends in the letter S. So fungi is plural. Fungus is singular, and I even mess it up sometimes. So we're in the eukarya domain still. So let me show you this. We're in the eukarya domain. Remember, there are 3 domains of living organisms, and we are here in eukarya. And then within the eukarya domain, there are 4 kingdoms. We've already covered kingdom protista, and today we're working on kingdom fungi. So again, just to look at that a little bit differently, you can see that we are in the eukarya domain, in the fungus kingdom, kingdom fungi, and interestingly enough, there are only 5 phyla in the kingdom fungi. So 5 fungal phyla within the fungal kingdom, which is in the eukarya domain. So what do I want to tell you about fungi? The definition of fungi is that they are organisms that have cell walls made of chitin. They break down and absorb nutrients in their environment, and they have thread-like single-cell filaments that grow through their environment. They look very different from one another, but they do share several basic characteristics. And those shared characteristics are that they are heterotrophs, which means they're not going to perform photosynthesis. They cannot make their own food. They actually have to go out and eat, if you will, their food. They are heterotrophic. They do not perform photosynthesis because they are not plants. The plant kingdom is a totally different kingdom, so they get their own kingdom. Fungal cells are surrounded by cell walls that are made of chitin. Chitin sets fungi apart again from plants because plant cell walls are made of cellulose. So again, fungi are not plants. They don't go through photosynthesis, just like a plant would, and their cell walls are not made of cellulose. Their cell walls are made of chitin. And also, fungi are made up of cells arranged in filaments, and their cells are called filaments because they look a little different than your typical eukaryotic cell. And you can see this down here. This is a microscopic magnification of the filament looking cells. So people use fungus, right, in many different ways. You probably have noticed the tiny holes in bread, right, when you eat bread. Those holes are produced by tiny gas bubbles created by yeast, which is a microscopic type of fungus that's used during the process of bread making. Biologists also use yeast in many research studies. Yeast cells are easy to cultivate in a lab and are frequently used when scientists need to study eukaryotic cells. For example, scientists at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle have studied how yeast cells divide. They can use this information to help develop tests for cancer treatments. And as you learned earlier, some antibiotics come from fungi. Antibiotics are drugs that kill bacteria, and the list of antibiotics extracted from fungi continues to grow. Important antibiotics that have been found in fungi include penicillin and cephalosporins, and cephalosporins are used to treat athlete's foot, which is a fungus. Fungi play an important role in ecosystems as decomposers. Fungi grow on trees by sending filaments deep into the tree. Many fungi feed on dead and decaying plant matter, such as fallen trees or leaf litter. These and other fungi play a crucial role as decomposers in ecosystems. Not only do they break down dead plants and animals, but they also release nutrients back into the soil, where the nutrients become available for other species. Fungi are very successful at finding food. If you leave a loaf of bread or an orange sitting out for too long, it will grow a layer of fuzz. That fuzz, commonly called mold, is a type of fungus. Spores, which are the reproductive structures of fungi, are found in the air everywhere, and they frequently will colonize the foods in your kitchen if you leave them out for too long. In nature, as soon as an organism dies, fungal spores fall on it. When the conditions are right, they germinate and begin the process of decomposition. And you can see here we have some fungus growing on a tree trunk. So here's the tree trunk, the dead tree trunk that's fallen. And you can see the fungus growing on the tree trunk here. The fungus is slowly digesting the tree on the forest floor. Fungi are heterotrophic decomposers and have important roles in forest health. The fungi filaments will dig into the tree and excrete digestive enzymes. The digested plant material is then absorbed back into the fungal cells. Some fungi live in symbiosis with other organisms. Fungi play another important ecological role. They live closely with plants, and both species benefit by swapping nutrients. This relationship is called a mycorrhiza, and it forms between the filaments of a fungal body and a plant's roots. Scientists suggest that a plant provides the fungus with carbohydrates produced during photosynthesis, and the fungus helps move soil minerals to the plant's roots. The relationship is especially important to many trees. Another type of fungal partnership you may have heard of is lichen. Lichen is a fungus that grows in association with green algae or other photosynthetic organisms. Each partner in the relationship provides the other with important nutrients. The photosynthetic algae provides carbohydrates to the fungus, and the fungus provides minerals and protection to the algae. Fungus can cause also significant diseases. While fungi play many important roles in ecosystems and have significant uses in industry, they also can cause human diseases. Athlete's foot, for example, is a fungal infection of the skin. It causes itching and redness and sometimes even produces blisters. It's contagious and can be caught by walking barefoot in a moist environment, such as a locker room. Another common fungal infection of the skin is ringworm. Despite the name, there is actually no worm involved. Several different types of fungus may cause ringworm, which actually produces ring-shaped patches on the skin. Some fungal infections can be more serious. Histoplasmosis is a disease of the lungs caused by a fungus that lives in soil that's contaminated by bird and bat droppings. People can become infected by inhaling spores in contaminated areas. The infection can be fatal in infants, the elderly, or people with weakened immune systems. Plants also can suffer from fungal diseases. It's not only humans who fall ill from fungal diseases. Fungi are significant plant pests and can cause significant damage to crops. The Irish potato famine, for example, was caused by a fungus that devastated the Irish potato crop in the mid-1800s, and some other plant diseases caused by fungi include Dutch elm disease, sudden oak death, and downy mildew, which infects grapes.